Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Geek Press. My name is Luis Gutierrez, and today we got news about Xbox Game Pass is staying on Microsoft and not going to Sony or Nintendo anytime soon. Rocket League is going free to play, and Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is now in full development. Now let's just jump right into our first story and talk about Xbox Game Pass pretty much not going to Nintendo or PlayStation anytime soon. Head of Xbox Phil Spencer shot down the idea of having Game Pass on Nintendo and PlayStation, despite Microsoft saying they plan to have it, and I quote, on all platforms. Spencer had this to say in an interview. The thing about other gaming console platforms is that we're not able to bring the full Xbox experience on those platforms. He went on to say a lot of other things about how they're able to bring this experience already with mobile phones with Project X Cloud coming to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC. He also went on to say that they already know when people are playing their games, and there's this expectation that the players have with their community, with their achievements, and having Game Pass there as an option as well. He went on to say this, and I quote, "The other competitive platforms aren't really interested in having a full Xbox experience on their hardware. But for us, we want to be where the gamers want to be, and that's the path we're on," said Spencer. And from the looks of everything, it seems that Microsoft has talked to the competition, but obviously nothing came out of it. Or they could have decided it was best to keep services like Game Pass in-house and not to branch out to other companies. We may never know what really happened, but honestly, having Game Pass on Nintendo or PlayStation seemed like a really, really ambitious goal that was never going to happen. A lot of people thought this may have happened with Nintendo just because Microsoft and Nintendo have been getting really buddy-buddy. They were the first to do cross-play. A lot of stuff for Nintendo carries over to Microsoft, and Microsoft carries over. You know, they have a really good relationship, but it's easy to forget. That was my fingers cracking, if you heard that. It's easy to forget that Sony doesn't really like to play by the rules, you know? They were the last ones to do crossplay when Fortnite was all the rage. They were the last ones to do a lot of stuff that's now really normal. So to hear that Xbox Game Pass was going to go over to PlayStation, I never really thought that as an option, and now we just got that cemented even more. So yeah, as for our next story, we're going to talk about how Rocket League is going to go free to play this summer in 2020. Rocket League, the game where you play soccer in your car, has taken the world by storm since it came out in 2015. Since the game's been out, it's recorded 75 million players, and it's going to free to play this summer. And for anyone who plays this before this happens, is going to be rewarded with the legacy status. The developers of Rocket League broke the news today, as well as all the changes that's going to be happening with the game. There's going to be major changes to tournament and challenge systems. The game will have cross-platform for player items, inventory, Rocket Pass progress, and competitive ranks by linking all of them to the Epic Game account. It's important to note that once Rocket League does go to the Epic Game Store, it will be free to play. This version will be the same as all the others and will include crossplay too. And now that it's going free to play, new players won't be able to download it on Steam. But don't worry, if you already have it on Steam or any other platforms, you're still going to get full support. And if you do plan on playing it before it goes free to play, this is what you'll be rewarded in the legacy status. All Rocket League branded DLC before the game went free to play, a title that displays the year you started playing Rocket League, 200 plus common items upgraded to legacy quality, golden Cosmo boosts, Daiko Oro reels, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm sorry, and Huntress player banners. Lastly, any player that has played Rocket League prior to today's news will be rewarded with the faded Cosmo boost as well as everything listed above when it goes free to play. And this news is actually pretty big because Rocket League is just a game that, you know, it hasn't stopped growing. It's something that's super massive, something that's super popular. To hear that it's going free to play this summer is incredible. It's big news, and it's really shocking that this game it's going to be free because people will pay money for this game because of how good it is. And it's one of those games that it's super cheap and it's super fun as well. And the fact that it's going free to play is actually pretty cool as well. But that does mean there's probably going to be a lot more, you know, cosmetics and a lot more stuff just to keep the game afloat. But whatever, that's the trade-off of having a free to play game. But either way, this is an awesome game that's going free to play. And if you guys haven't played it yet, I highly recommend you play it. But at this point now, just wait till it goes free to play, which is probably going to be like, honestly, in less than like a month or two. So just wait a little bit longer because this game is probably one of the most funnest games I've ever played. And it's even more fun to play with your buddies. As for our last piece of news, Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 is now in full development. The Final Fantasy VII Remake game director wants to have the game out, and I quote, as soon as possible. The news came in a 15-page long interview in a Japanese magazine. The details of this article were posted on a blog and then translated by a Twitter user. Before I go any further, I just want to state that most of these names are in Japanese, and I don't really want to butcher their names or, you know, kind of like humiliate myself even more. but I have their names written in my WordPress, and they're written like all sorts of other places too. And I'm gonna link to my WordPress down below if you want to read their names. But I'm just gonna kind of refrain from saying that, and I'm just gonna like name their titles with the companies, or if it's the Twitter user, I'm just gonna say the Twitter user. Back to the story now. And according to the blog post, the game is in full development. And here's what the game director said of how the game's going right now. We know that everyone wants the next installment quickly. We would like to deliver it as soon as possible. Since we're also able to see the line of quality from the first installment, we hope to make the next installment even better in quality that can make for an even better experience. He went on to say, we would like to get it out as soon as possible, so please wait for it. I think we can clearly convey the direction when we officially announce the next installment. And what's catching a lot of people's attention is what the executive producer of Final Fantasy VII Remake had this to say. The new story of Final Fantasy VII has only just begun. It's important to note that the original game isn't being dramatically changed at all. And lastly, Square Enix hasn't said anything about the game just yet, so Final Fantasy Remake 7 Part 2 doesn't have an official release date as of now. And there you have it, everyone. That's all the news we got today. I know there's a lot going on in the news, but again, just one guy, and I can only do so much. So I hope you guys enjoyed everything that I did today. And if you have, please, drop a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you know when my videos go live. I post usually 2 times out of the week, and if you're lucky, you get a podcast that comes out during the weekend. But that happens every now and then, and I don't know when the next podcast is going to come. It's going to come when it comes, But once again, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. My name is Luis Gutierrez. This has been another episode of the Geek Press. If you guys can, please follow me on all of my social media links. I have a social media link for my personal Instagram and my personal Twitter. It's at I'm Luis Gutierrez. For my Twitch Instagram, it's I'm Joshua Joestar. And my Twitch and my Instagram for the Geek Press and Twitter for the Geek Press is the same at DA Geek Press, because some asshole took the Geek Press, and on Instagram he doesn't even use that account anymore. But whatever, we're gonna stick with Geek Press. And yeah, just give it a follow, and if you guys want to join the Discord, just ask for the link, but the link does expire after a while, so make sure you grab it while it lasts. And I do have a WordPress, and I pretty much do use my WordPress as a script for all of the videos right now. So if you guys want to follow the WordPress and read all of them before they go live on YouTube, feel free to follow me on WordPress. That would actually mean a lot too. But again, I really do appreciate that all of you guys are watching me right now. It means the world that I'm getting all this great support. And wherever you guys are watching me from right now, I hope you have a great day, great night, great afternoon. And I love all of you guys. And I'll see you when I see you. Take care.